What's up, guys? My name is Scott and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics, and today we're going to shoot some body armor with 9mm, 10mm, 357 SIG and FN 5.7x28. We're going to be shooting a Kevlar panel. Now, we have used these before. This one is rated for 44 Magnum. The only thing is it expired a long time ago. This was manufactured in 1995. I'm pretty sure they replace these every 4 years. At least that's when most companies recommend you replace them. But this one still works. We used it in the Magnum Pistols versus body armor video. It did well. It stopped what it was ready to stop. Stopped 44 Magnum, and I believe it stopped even bigger things than that. Not everything, but it stopped what it was rated for. That's the main thing. So now I want to see if this thing will stop some high velocity semi-automatic pistols. I do not have a sandbag or anything like that to lay this up against, and I didn't want to lay it up against like a cinder block or anything like that. So we're going to use the giant aluminum foil ball. It's heavy enough that it won't just fall over, and I think it'll still give us some give when the body armor does get hit. So yeah, let's get started. So we're going to start out with 9mm. We have a Glock Gen 4 Model 19, and we're using some Underwood ammo. These are 115 grain Xtreme Penetrators plus P. Let's see how it does. Dang. That may have gone through. Oh, and it's heavy. Look at the dent that it put in the aluminum foil ball. All right, well, the body armor stopped the 9mm Xtreme Penetrator. Here it is right here. I'm gonna rip this real quick so you can see it. Ah, there we go, that's better. There's the, darn it, there we go. So there's the bullet right there, and it is pretty deep into that Kevlar, but it did not make it through the back. Check that out. The tip of it is kind of deformed now.
That's what she said.
Up next is 357 SIG. This is a Glock Gen 4 Model 31, and we're loaded up with some Underwood ammo. These are 115 grain Xtreme Penetrators. Come on, can't you? Look at it. There we go. Now you can see it. Woo! That's a pretty big dent. I thought the 9mm put a big dent in this thing, but goodness gracious, 357 SIG really did a number. All this. There. So the 9mm we can see sticking out of the Kevlar, but this 357 SIG has buried itself inside that Kevlar. Probably not going to get that out. No. 9mm didn't make it through. 357 SIG hasn't made it through. Now let's try 10mm. This is a Glock Gen 4 Model 20, chambered in 10mm. And we're loaded up with some Underwood ammo, 10mm, 140 grain Xtreme Penetrators. Still did not make it through, I don't think. Alrighty, again, a pretty big dent in that aluminum foil ball. That is pretty cool. So here's where the 357 SIG hit, and here's where the 10mm hit. We have a little bulge with the 357 SIG, and you can tell there's a bigger bulge with the 10mm, and those fibers look like they're a little more stressed where the 10mm hit. But still no penetration. Now for the gun I'm most curious about. This is the FN 5.7x28, and they do not make an Xtreme Penetrator for 5.7x28, but what they do make is full metal jackets. These are some American Eagle, please focus. These are some American Eagle 5.7x28 40 grain full metal jackets. I've heard that the FN 5.7x28 is good at penetrating body armor. I may be asking a lot because that panel is rated for 44 Magnum, but let's find out anyways. I don't know. Nope. So the 5.7 did not make it through the panel, but where I shot, the panel was not pushed up against the aluminum foil ball, so it didn't have any kind of resistance behind it at all. So we're going to shoot it one more time. That's better. That left a pretty good dent in the aluminum foil ball. So the 5.7x28 did not make it through the panel a second time. Here's where we hit the second time, there's where we hit the first time, and both times we did not make it through the back of the panel. So I want to try one more thing before we wrap up this video. Let's see if we can make it through that body armor with a compound bow. We're going to shoot it with a practice tip, and we're going to shoot it with a broadhead. This is a Matthews bow. It's kind of old, but it still does the trick, and I believe the draw weight is 70 pounds. Yeah, take the safety glasses off. Man, it came really close. So there's where we hit, and you can see that the tip of that arrow just barely pushed out the back. That's pretty cool. Now let's try the broadhead. Oh, I think we made it through. That's in there pretty good. That's awesome. Let's see here. Yep, it definitely made it through that vest. That would not feel very good. Well, pretty interesting results today. None of the pistols made it through the body armor. Now, we may have been asking a lot out of these calibers, trying to get them to go through a panel that's rated for 44 Magnum, but I still thought it would be interesting, and I was curious to see if any of them would actually make it through the panel. But what I found most interesting is this body armor is stout enough to stop a 10 mil, a 9 mil, 357 SIG, 5.7x28 dead in their tracks. But then we hit it with a compound bow, and that broadhead pushed through that body armor, cut through those fibers, and made it through. Very, very interesting stuff. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure and give it a like and subscribe to the channel. If you're a new subscriber, make sure you hit that little bell at the top. It's going to give you notifications when we upload new videos. I want to let you know that Kentucky Ballistics is now on the Reloaders Network. It's a website dedicated to just firearms content. If that's something that might interest you, I will leave a link in the description down below. Also, be sure to check out Kentucky Ballistics clothing and check us out on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all those are also in the description down below, or you can find them on our website, KentuckyBallistics.com. Again, my name is Scott. Thank you for watching Kentucky Ballistics, and I'll see you next time. It's time to get to the chopper.